This is a demonstration of the Pairwise Failure Analysis tool that is part of the planning and optimization function pack supporting the WAN automation platform. The Pairwise Failure Analysis tool extends the built-in simulation analysis capabilities of WAN design. It is designed to allow engineers and network planners to easily analyze a network model for instances when two failures may cause significant impact. The way the Pairwise Failure Analysis tool works is that it takes advantage of the built-in SIM analysis tool of WAN design. Before we dive into the Pairwise functionality, it's useful to quickly review the SIM analysis tool. SIM analysis is a tool that goes through the network, failing circuits, nodes, sites, or other objects, and then recording the highest utilization, looking for the worst case. This is extremely useful for finding circuits in the network that would be congested if another circuit or node in the model were to fail. For more information about SIM analysis and how to use it, you can find information in the user guide that comes with WAN design. You can find the user guide, by going to Help and then User Guide directly in the WAN design client, and you can find the information on SIM analysis in Chapter 7. Okay, once you have the tool downloaded and installed, you'll find it in the add-on section of your menu in WAN design. So if you go to add-ons and then Pairwise Failure Analysis, it'll pop up the dialog for the Pairwise Failure Analysis tool. And what you'll see here are two tabs, one with the options and one that says function pack credentials. Now, real quickly, I'd just like to mention that each one of these function packs does require a special license, and the username and password that it's asking for here is the username and password that you would use to log into way.cisco.com. Now, you don't have to enter your username and password every single time that you use the tool. You'll only need to enter it the first time, and then periodically it will ask you to re-authenticate based on some set time period. So I've already done that, so I don't need to put my username and password in here. But if it were the first time you were using this tool, you would have to put in your way.cisco.com username and password. So I'm going to skip back over to the Options tab, and you'll see that we have some options here that we can select. So what this tool actually does is it builds combinations, pair combinations of SLRGs based on what is selected here. So I can either choose to build SLRG combinations of nodes, circuits, SLRGs that already exist in my plan file, layer 1 links. And I also have this other option here, is that I can mix the object types. So if I wanted to see nodes, combinations of nodes and circuits in double failures, then I can include that as well. So, and the last option here says Run SIM Analysis. It's an option that's available so that if I wanted to have the add-on or the tool itself actually run SIM Analysis instead of just create the SLRGs, I can do that as well. So for this first example, I'm just going to have it create the SLRGs, and then we'll run SIM Analysis manually. So I'm just going to hit Include Nodes and hit OK. And what this is actually going to do is launch the tool in the background and open up a new plan file when it's complete. And in this new plan file, we're going to have if we switch over to the SLRGs tab, what you'll see is the results of what the tool has done. And I'm just going to display another column here, and if I can just shortcut to it. That's what I'm going to display is since we created pairwise or pairs of node combinations, I'm going to just display the node list of nodes in the SLRG column. So what the tool has done is created pairs of nodes as SLRGs that we can now use in simulation analysis. As you can see, we have a whole list of them here. So if you have, this is just one of our sample plan files, but if you have a larger network, you can imagine this list getting very long, to match all the possible cases in your network. So once I have this list built using the tool, I can then go to Tools, simulation analysis and change the failure set to SLRGs, and then if you want to customize any of these other options in sim analysis, you can, but for this demonstration purposes, I'm just going to use the default, and then hit OK. And what this is going to do is go through and fail each one of these SLRGs and look for the worst case utilization on each one of the interfaces. The result is what we see here. We get a worst case traffic view, and based on what I'm seeing here, we do have a number of interfaces or circuits that would be overutilized if any one of these SLRGs, or in this case, we had two nodes go down at the same time in the network. So, for example, take this link between Kansas City and Washington, D.C. I can now right-click on it and go fail to worst case, and I can see which two nodes and model that failure in the network. So I can actually see that I have a node in the Atlanta site and a node in the New York site. And that combination would result in this link between Kansas City and Washington, D.C. being congested. Okay, we're back to our original sample plan file here, and you might have noticed in the name of the plan file, it's the US WAN L1 plan file, and that means that it has a layer 1 topology underneath the layer 3 topology. You can see that just by clicking this topology button up here. It toggles between the layer 1 and layer 3 topology. We're going to use that for this next example in the Pairwise Failure Analysis tool. So what I'm going to do is go to Add-ons and then Pairwise Failure Analysis tool to bring that back up. And this time what I'm going to do is I'm going to fail the nodes, or I'm going to include the nodes and the layer 1 links in the analysis. But this time we're also going to hit mix the object types in the list of combinations. And I'm also going to tell the tool to go ahead and run a sim analysis for us so we don't have to do that as a separate process. So this time I'm going to go ahead and hit OK. And it's going to take just a minute here to go ahead and calculate those results and bring up the resulting plan file. Alright, so the new plan file has been loaded. We're going to go ahead and switch over to the worst case view. You can see by switching to the worst case traffic view that almost every interface is in danger of being congested of at least one double failure scenario. And if I go to right click on, say, this interface here and then go to fail to the worst case, I can actually see that the Pairwise Failure Analysis is actually a layer 1 link and a node combination that would actually cause this link or interface to get overheated. So I can go ahead and do that now, and I can actually see what the results would be. As you can see, I would have a congested path through the network from essentially from San Jose to New York City. This concludes the demo of the Pairwise Failure Analysis tool. Please consult the documentation for assistance or send questions to the WAVE Function Pack email help list.